Alright folks, in my first video I showed how I modified my Grizzly grinder, so I thought I'd do an update of all the changes I've made from there. First I'd like to show the original and then how I've changed it. Now I've been able to utilize the Grizzly grinder tool rest. I've added it to the support bar underneath the grinding extension arm, and that's adjustable just like it was on the Grizzly grinder. Now what that lets you do is if you adjust it certain ways, you can get a really low angle. You can use it as a guide for when you're grinding your bevel, say on a Tonto blade or suicide grind or something of that nature, so it comes in real handy for that. I've also added a piece of tempered glass to a piece of 2x2 angle iron on the original piece that I built, and that gives me a real good flat surface for grinding, making sure everything's as true as I can get it. I've also added a rubberized 2-inch wheel at the top that I can use for grinding radiuses. Puts a nice smooth edge on it regardless of the grit of the belt. I've got the original grinding wheel that come on the Grizzly grinder. I believe I showed that in the first video. Still works good. I've also got a tool rest that I made that's adjustable, that slides in and out of here. And I've also got the Grizzly grinder, the original grinding plating, and I'm able to use it, and it bolts in and out in place of this one. And I use it for whenever I just want to do some really rough grinding, really bear down on it, and don't want to take a chance of breaking the tempered glass, so I keep it for just those purposes. And then I also have a piece of 2x2 angle iron. Can't really see it. Here it is. And what I do with it is I'll spray some adhesive on it, stick a piece of leather on it. You get it like your local hobby shop, like Michael's or Hobby Lobby or something like that. And what that does is it gives it a nice kind of a cushion, kind of like a same way a rubberized wheel would do, and allows you to do some flat grinding, but it also gives it kind of a convex angle to it. It's a little more forgiving, and it also doesn't put the sand scratch marks so deep, so I like to do it that way. Also, I've added for my folders for grinding the lock face on the blade for a folder, liner lockers or frame lockers. I've added a piece of tubing, has a piece of 2x2 angle iron on it, and as you can see it's just slightly below center, and what that does is it puts a nice radiused concave grind on it. I have to zoom in. Too close. There you can see it. There for a second, then it zooms back out. Stupid phone. But as you can see, it puts a nice concave lock face on it. Works real good. You don't have to mess around with fighting, figuring out what angle you want to do it at. Some people say 5 degrees, some people say 7, some people say 11. So I've tried different things, and I really like this. And because it's already set up, it's already on a piece of tubing, it's all mounted, it's permanently fixed. All I got to do is slide it in the grinder, right in here in the tool holding arm, slide it in there, throw a belt on it, pick where you want to grind the lock face, and go at it. And every time you go back to it to take a little more off or to polish it or change the grit belt or whatnot, it's always going to be the same. So that's what I like to do. So check it out, see what you think. Maybe you can get some ideas from it. Maybe you don't like them, maybe you hate it, who knows, but works for me. So appreciate you watching. Oh, one other thing, let me throw this in there. This is kind of work in progress. I made this blade holding fixture. Runs off a piece of flat strap in the back. And everything I do, I use a digital degree cube that I have that I've used from my wicked edge sharpener and whatnot. I use it on everything. So I find what angle I need to set it at. I've got a hole back there that's, for most blades, around 23 degrees. That's the angle I like. And if I choose to use it, not very often, but I'll use it just to kind of see where I'm at, and put the initial bevel on the blade that I'm making and kind of go from there. But idea, and it's running on the back side, so the blade's going away from me. And that's kind of what I've done. So appreciate you watching. Have a good one.